Lions fans, welcome back in. Detroit done through and through. Real quick, before I get into it, please hit that subscribe button. Greatly appreciated. I did an episode yesterday about Tim Patrick from the Denver Broncos who got released, and I said, guys, let's hit the brakes. Don't jump into bed with the first pretty girl you see, okay? Wait a little bit. Play a little hard to get. See if there's some better options out there, okay? We've got some better options today. Before I really get into it, I know a lot of people are clamoring and a lot of people on Twitter and social media and the radio and YouTube. I've been paying attention. I see a lot of people like begging for the Lions to sign a wide receiver. I don't think we're in as desperate need as some people are making it out to seem. Like our offense is going to be okay. I don't know if it's because we don't have a receiver who's 6'6" or what the issue is, but I'm not saying we don't need a receiver, but I don't think it's the end of the world if we don't get one. But like I said, I talked yesterday about Tim Patrick from the Denver Broncos. I'm not going to dive into that. I still think he's an option, but I have someone who I think is a much better option than Tim Patrick. And if I were to call for the Lions to sign anyone or to put a waiver claim in on anyone, it's going to be Noah Brown from the Houston Texans. Months ago, I think we have to go back to, I think, early May. We did an episode about the Houston Texans and how crowded their wide receiver room was. And they had 7 receivers. Someone was going to be the odd man out. And it's looking like that was Noah Brown. I think that he would be a fun, I'm telling you, I think this is an A+ pick if we can get Noah Brown. And again, I'm not clamoring or begging the Lions to do this. I don't think it's make or break. I don't think this is season on the line type of move, but I do think Noah Brown is explosive. When I look at his stats from last year, he only played in 10 games. In those 10 games, he had 33 catches on 55 targets, 567 yards, 2 touchdowns. Doesn't sound crazy, but keep in mind, 10 games, 567 yards. His average yard per catch, 17.2. He's got big play potential. And I know he was playing with CJ Stroud, who played out of his mind, and we'll see those guys later on down the road. That's kind of my Super Bowl matchup too. I'm thinking Lions, Texans, possibly in the Super Bowl. I can kind of see a road where that's a realistic option. So not even just that, but just Noah Brown's explosiveness, his big playability. And he's not overly big. He's only, I think, 6'2", I believe. So he's a good size. Okay. He's not 6'5", 6'6", but that's okay. He's just another guy we can get the ball in space. He's not the guy who's going to be the vocal point of your offense or anything like that. He's not probably going to make a Pro Bowl, but he can help your team be productive. We are still looking for people to kind of replace that Josh Reynolds role. That's a lot to put on Isaiah Williams as an undrafted free agent. Noah Brown, I think, would be the absolute perfect fit out of everyone I'm talking about on my list. And there's a couple other names I'm going to talk about, but Noah Brown's probably my number one. I'm going to be keeping tabs on teams who are interested in him. Next on my list, Equanimeous St. Brown. You guys are probably pretty familiar with that name. Okay, I've done some research. We all know who he is. Amon-Ra St. Brown's brother. What I learned today was I had no idea he was 6'5". Okay, I don't know what happened. Must have took all of Amon-Ra St. Brown's food when he was little and just absolutely blew up. Didn't know he was 6'5". I knew he was bigger. I was guessing around 6'2", 6'3". But if you're looking for that receiver and height really matters to you, then 6'5" is probably makes him the perfect receiver. But I don't think so. I'm trying to be nice because it's our guy, St. Brown's brother. What I think he could bring is possibly some red zone targets. I know that's an area we've really struggled. If we can get him in some one-on-ones with some corners who aren't as big and we get a mismatch there physically, yes. But I don't know. It doesn't really move the needle for me like a Noah Brown. If you're getting Equanimeous, it's more of like a situational player, okay? Not an every down player like Noah. I think he's mostly going to be goal line or someone you throw fade balls to, and he'd get some spot duty here and there too. I'm not just saying, hey, we're in the 10. Well, we can put Equanimous in there. I'm not saying that, and I gotta really pat myself on the back for saying Equanimous so well. That's usually a hard name for me to pronounce, but I don't think he's the perfect fit. I think he would be an okay fit. I do see that there could be a role on the team for St. Brown's brother. Looking and digging a little deeper at something intangible wise, brothers playing together might bring out the best in Equanimous, might push him a little harder. Work ethic, all that stuff, playing with your brother, being more relaxed, knowing that, hey, man, I'm traveling with family. I'm comfortable here. Someone I know, someone I'm familiar with, someone I love is on this team. And maybe that's something that's beyond football that could kind of help Equanimous here in Detroit. Maybe. And again, I don't think he's the perfect fit, but I can see a role for him on this team. Next, last on the list, not least, Terrace Marshall Jr. just got cut from the Carolina Panthers. This is another guy, LSU product, 6'2", 200 pounds, former second-round pick out of LSU. LSU's put some receivers in the league the last few years. Obviously, Odell Beckham Jr., Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase, DJ Chark. I know he was on our team a few years ago. They're constantly putting guys in the league. I think what Marshall's problem has been is that he's been trapped in Carolina with poor quarterback play. I do think they're going to be better with Bryce Young. I just think, I don't know, maybe a change of scenery would be good for Marshall. I'm willing to do it. Like I said, I mentioned DJ Chark. This is another guy I kind of put in that same category. DJ was pretty good with the Lions. I know he was a little bigger and a little faster. Obviously, it wouldn't be the same type of production, but I can see another role for him as well. Is he an every down player? I don't know. I think he's kind of in that same category as Equanimous. I'm not 100% sure that he's a quote unquote wide receiver 3. You guys know I don't like doing that, like wide receiver 3, wide receiver 4. I don't care. It's just a number. You could be the wide receiver 3 on a depth chart and be the number 1 option on a play, depending on coverage and personnel. So it really doesn't matter to me. But I don't 100% know that Terrace Marshall is the best option either. I think he's kind of like what Equanimous is going to bring. He's going to be more situational. I do think he'd get maybe a few more snaps. But again, when I just look at Noah Brown, I just see a guy who's on the field quite often. I don't know how many plays, maybe 30, 40 plays. You get him 4 touches. I don't think anything crazy. Again, he's not going to move the needle. But I just think Noah Brown is a playmaker. I think he's a guy who, with limited games last year and limited opportunities, still had a hell of a season. 10 catches or 10 games over 500 yards. Not a crazy amount of touchdowns, but our offense is just kind of built to move the chains, get down the field, set it up. A big play will break off. We kind of just work defenses into the ground. We can get some big plays. I think we have big play players, Jameson Williams, Jahmyr Gibbs. And when I look at Noah Brown, adding him onto this roster, I think it makes this a very, very complete offense. Very, very well-rounded offense is the best way I know how to put it. You add Noah Brown on here, I think the sky's the limit, guys. A little insight for the Houston Texans, who I think we're going to see in the Super Bowl. That's just a cherry on top of the cake. So I threw out 4 names for you guys. All right. Tim Patrick, talked about him yesterday, didn't do a full dive. I'll tag that video at the end from last night. Terrace Marshall, Noah Brown, Equanimous, St. Brown. Okay, those are 4 really good options. If I had to pick, I'm going with Noah. Leave it in the comments, guys. Let me know who you're going after. Stick around. I'll be back later. I got some other stuff I want to talk about roster-wise. Leave your comments and questions down below now. I'll be back later with another show.